Hello viewers, Hawaiian checkout. Join the scenery and your instructor's local knowledge on a checkout flight from Molokai to Maui. Estimated time to complete 45 minutes. As you may notice, I've completed this mission a few times, just a few times. But because I botched the recording every single time, but this time, no. Also, I didn't do full recordings previously. So, you're vacationing in the Hawaiian Islands, and you've decided to rent a Mooney Bravo from a local fixed base operator at the Molokai airport. Before you can take the plane up alone, though, you need to be checked out by a flight instructor. This mission begins on the ramp at Molokai airport with the instructor on board. He's lived in the islands his whole life, so the flight will be more of a scenic tour than a test. Explore the islands a bit as we fly east to Hana airport on Maui. Details. Place under VFR. Planned route takes you from Molokai to Molokai direct to Hana airport on Maui. The direct route from Molokai to Hana is located onto the GPS. You navigate this mission by following the mission compass and mission pointer. For a more challenging experience which doesn't affect the achievements, I'm not going to do it, is to turn the mission compass and mission pointer off. Communications. Your instructor will handle all radio communications during this mission. And maps and charts. So here's since I've flown this a lot of times. Not a lot, but I did my research, so I'm not gonna fuck up this time. No way, I'm not gonna fuck up. So we take off from here. We fly north in the north shore of Molokai, around here, and then we fly here, and then we fly here, and then we after we go here, we go here, and then we turn around, descend, land. Done. Let's go. And if you've been wondering why I don't upload, I don't keep a regular upload schedule, it's because recording software are assholes.
Since this is a checkout flight, you get to do all the flying. To make it easier, I'll handle the radios.
Whoopee.
Let's get out of here before the lunchtime rush. Once we're airborne, I'll fill you in on where we'll go.
Cool.
Molokai ground, Mooney 123 Mike Sierra on the ramp with Lima. Ready to taxi, northeastbound. Mooney 123 Mike Sierra, taxi to runway 5 via taxiway Alpha. Runway 5 via Alpha, 3 Mike Sierra. Okay, release the brakes and turn right onto taxiway Alpha.
Alright, so, hold on, let me just set all auto mixture off so that we can mix shit up ourselves. And then, let's go taxi. So for the mission pointer, I'm gonna turn on the... Just for your sake, I'm gonna turn on the green arrows. Not for my sake.
Not to toot my own horn, but I've lived in Hawaii my whole life. And I used to be a tour guide, so you picked the right guy to fly with. This should be a lot of fun. Hawaii's a beautiful place, and there's no better way to see it than from an airplane.
And not to toot my own horn.
Slow down a bit. You shouldn't taxi any faster than you can walk.
But I've done this mission 3 times already.
By the way, this isn't a test. It's just a chance for you to get acquainted with the local area and procedures. After this flight, you'll be able to rent an airplane from us and fly on your own.
So, I don't need to listen to your bullshit.
We're cleared across runway 1735. So look both ways, then go ahead and taxi across.
I was on it before you told me to be on it, so I'm better than you. Fact. Alright. In reality, we don't need nearly as much runway as the game suggests. But because for the sake of roleplay, let's do this. Alright, so we're at runway A5.
Okay, stop here and I'll get our takeoff clearance. Molokai Tower, Mooney 123, Mike Sierra, ready to go. Runway 5.
Mooney 3, Mike Sierra, cleared for takeoff. Wind 049er at 7.
Cleared for takeoff. 3 Mike Sierra.
Clear for
All set?
Takeoff.
Let's go
3
flying.
Mike
Take
0.
off and maintain runway heading. Rotate at about 65 knots in this airplane.
Oh, cool. I'm just gonna bring the flaps down a notch. And, yeah. Let's take off. We rotate at 65 knots. So, because this is a fast airplane, that makes sense. You know what? I misspoke earlier. We do need the full runway. Gear up.
A good climb speed in this airplane is about 90 knots. Keep the throttle full and adjust pitch to maintain 90 knots.
Way ahead of you. Way ahead of ya. As they say in France.
Nice takeoff. If you look at the GPS, you'll see that I've entered a flight plan to Hana on Maui. That's where we're headed. You don't have to fly that route. I'm in no rush, so feel free to explore along the way. There might be some whales in the channel between Molokai and Maui. You can fly wherever you want, and I'll tell you about some of the things we fly over. If I can make a suggestion, you might want to start by continuing offshore a bit, then following the north shore of Molokai to the east. You'll get a great view of some spectacular cliffs. Climb as high as you want. When you level off, don't forget to bring the power back.
I hate climbing, so no. I'm not gonna climb as high as I want. I'll climb as high as I have to. And also I guess I'll lean this just a bit. Because why not? Alright, we're at the side of the cliffs here. And this is what we're gonna do. Look at those famed cliffs! The cliffs he talked about. Right here. Yep, these are some truly spectacular cliffs.
That's Kalaupapa Peninsula up ahead. It has an interesting history. In 1873, a Belgian priest named Father Damien arrived to care for 600 sufferers of Hansen's disease who had been banished there. Today, the peninsula is a National Historical Park, and there's still a small settlement. The only access to the peninsula is by mule trail or airplane. That's Kalaupapa Airport on the point. Right next to it is Molokai Light, the tallest U.S. lighthouse in the Pacific Ocean.
That ain't so tall. My dick is taller than that. Because, you know, it's only like a centimeter on my screen. So, that's why. The problem with flying to the left of the island is that you don't get a great view. But luckily, I have this. So now we've swapped seats with our invisible instructor, I guess? Co-pilot? Whatever, what's his face? Anyway, since he's invisible, he won't mind. that we just took a seat. Although I'm not used to flying in the right side. I'm not sure if I can land this if I had to do it in the right side. Which is weird, I know.
Along this coast are the highest sea cliffs in the world. The tallest ones are 3,600 feet above the water. There have been a lot of theories about the North Shore of Molokai, but geologists now think that the cliffs were sculpted by waves. Whatever it was, the result is pretty spectacular, and you can't see it unless you're on a boat or on an airplane.
You're wrong. The cliffs are sculpted by God, who sent Lee Harvey Oswald to do it, because, you know, I mean, I know it sounds unlikely, but that's just what the CIA wants you to think. You know, the CIA, Spetsnaz, they're all in on it. Spetsnaz? What the fuck is a Spetsnaz? I don't know. Will we go faster or slower? You know, full mixture is fine. You only need less at high altitudes. Look at the mountains! Look at the beautiful mountains! And my completely sane accents. You know, my accents display a great deal of sanity that I don't normally show on tape.
Keep your eyes open around here for other airplanes. The north coast of Molokai is usually buzzing with commuter planes flying between Maui and Oahu.
Oh yeah? Well, I'm gonna turn on traffic and topographical. And if I still don't see any fucking other airplanes... Oh, there's one. And there's another one behind us. But otherwise... you're just a lying piece of shit. You know, the cool thing about airplanes is that they're really just a big, steerable, flying canoe. Like, but in the air. Like, when you boil, when you know, boil it all down, this is just a canoe with a engine, with a propeller that you steer in the air instead of in the water. And that's what's so amazing about it. I don't know if it's... I don't know why we can't see the waterfall that's supposed to be around here. But, yeah, scenery. Scenery complexity dense. Yeah, I suppose we could turn it up the full way. And then, yeah. Well, the frame rate hasn't been affected, so hopefully that's cool. Frame rate, not frame weight. What the fuck, me? Oh, the frame rate is slightly dented. But still, I'm not seeing the waterfall. There's supposed to be a waterfall here, somewhere.
After it rains, there are lots of waterfalls on the north shore of Molokai, but one of them is always flowing. Kahiwa Falls. It's the longest waterfall in Hawaii, 1,750 feet high. The falls is tucked at the end of a small valley near here. Try to find it if you want.
Alright, so, what's he talking about? Shit! Shit! Bullocks. So, he's talking about the waterfall right there. Which, yeah, it's not too obvious, but it's right there somewhere. So that's the waterfall. Or maybe it's these waterfalls, which is really a small river, but that's what they call it, waterfall. But anyway, So next up, I'm gonna switch seats back to this seat for our next attraction. Right, so what's on our Kalaupapa and Molokai cliffs? And next up, let's go along these, you know, this place.
That's Palilolo Channel down there. It's 8.5 miles wide between Molokai and Maui. Believe it or not, over the years, 16 people have actually swum across.
Only 16,
Humpback
huh?
whales like to swim through these channels too. They come down here from Alaska in the winter to give birth to their young in the warm waters, then swim back for the summer. If we keep our eyes open, maybe we'll see one.
Great. I hope so, because if not, it'll be terribly disappointing. So far, I see nothing, only blue skies and...
Wow! Check out that pod of humpback whales down there.
Where? I can't see it. Maybe you can. But I'm not perceptive like that. So I'm just gonna use the assistance of this for a moment. And, yeah, there it is. Oh, there it is. Huh. Well, that's great. Fantastic. We saw whales! Hurrah for us! Whale pod and whales. Anyway, next up. We're gonna trot along the coast here. Not the coast, the yeah, the what's its face? The channel. Just like my YouTube channel, but in real life. And on the sea. Hey, full throttle it is.
Maui is the state's second largest island. It was formed by two volcanoes, Haleakala, which is over 10,000 feet tall, and another one which formed the West Maui Mountains. The valley between the mountains used to be underwater, but over time the valley floor rose to form Maui as it looks today. Some people say that if the polar ice caps melted, the valley would be underwater again. People on Maui like to say, Maui no ka oi. Maui is the best. Even from up here you can see that it's a pretty special place.
Not really. But sure. You know what the island looks like from this perspective? Like if we ignore the view here, but just look here? It looks like Chernerus, you know, with the airfield over there and the seaside stuffs. Looks like Cherno. Anyway, let's go buzz the cruise ship. Hello, cruise ship with no passengers.
See that cruise ship? The water's too shallow for it to get any closer. Most of the boats you'll see in the harbor are small ones.
Well, at least no visible.
That's the small town of Lahaina down below. In the early 1800s, it was the capital of Kamehameha's Hawaiian kingdom. Eventually, the capital moved to Honolulu, but Lahaina was still booming, mostly as a stopover for whaling ships. In those days, more than 500 whaling ships stopped at Lahaina every year. Today, tourism is the main industry. Lots of great shops and restaurants down there, not to mention one of the world's largest banyan trees.
Oh, that's fantastic. I never knew that. The resemblance to Cherno is, at least in my opinion, uncanny. Like, I mean, it's not completely the same, but still, you can't help but compare the, compare the airfield, the position of the airfield, and all that. Although I guess all islands probably look the same, but still. Anyway, buildings and stuff. We should turn back towards the other side and pull some G's. My hands are gonna explode. Careful not to overspeed again. Alright, so let's fly around the side of this mountain. And we'll maybe get a better view here. Of what exactly? Of nothing. Because there's actually no event, I think. Mostly I just like the view, man. Lazy. All of it is soft key buttons. So what I'm gonna do right now is a bit controversial. I'm gonna set up the autopilot so the plane stops swaying like this. Just ruins everyone's day, man. Autopilot, altitude, and hitting. There we go. Now that the plane stops wobbling, we can focus more on the
One day a
scenery.
few years ago, I was flying right around here pretty low, and I looked down at the water, and a humpback whale breached right where I was looking. He jumped right out of the water as if he knew I was watching. To this day, it's one of the most amazing things I've ever seen.
You know, yeah, I'm looking down. I'm not flying too high as well, and you know, as far as I can tell, you know, it's not a precise science, you know. I look down and I see this huge patch of stuff. You know, there's a pretty good chance.
If you want to see Haleakala and the observatory on top, you'd better start climbing now. The mountain tops out at 10,000 feet above sea level.
I mean, there's a good chance that if a whale jumps out in this region, it'll be where I'm looking. But you know, I guess to each his own. Okay, so I'm trying to follow this flight plan, and the reason is there's a bit of dialogue at the end of at Harpo, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
See that little island? It's Molokini, the top of an extinct volcano. The crescent shape protects the reef from the elements, so it's one of Hawaii's most popular dive sites. There are about 250 different species of fish down there.
So, as he said, that little island, which I'm gonna show you right now, as soon as the plane lets me, or not, or, yep, there we go. That's me disengaging the autopilot, and this is me showing you the little island and its diving ships. Cool, eh? Yeah, so here's what we got: Molokai Cliffs, Molokini, whale plot. We've collected so many collectibles. It's uncanny. Anyway, so let's altitude hold that to up to 10,300, and let's bring ourselves back down here, and yeah, let's bring the heading back here a bit, and heading, and autopilot. There we go. And then we're just gonna increase the vertical speed here. I'm not sure if we're over leaning here because I don't know if there's any indicator. Like, if I push it all the way in, it's 2574. If I pull it all the way out, well, not all the way out, it's 2575, 2576. So I don't know. The RPM isn't too reliable a way of judging this thing, judging these things. But we're gonna be climbing at full throttle, and full throttle I said. There we go. And yeah. Prop pitch is always at full, unless we want to feather the propeller, in which case we'll lose thrust very fast. So here at the topographical map, you can see that the hill gets browner and browner as we near its top. Here's us. Here's the heading. Yeah, I think that's agreeable. Actually, no, just a bit. Left a bit. And yeah, this is agreeable. Okay, we're gonna lower our vertical speed here so that we don't stall out. I don't know if this does anything. I mean, it obviously does. Does it reduce the fuel flow? I don't know. I should know, but I don't. That's the thing. But from this angle, I think the treetops look pretty realistic. From this angle, at least. It's at least better than the autogen trees, which suck ass, frankly. We're maintaining a respectable 90 knots. 25 to 576. Yep. So I can't find the...
Mount Haleakala rises to an elevation of 10,000 feet.
That's it. Anyway, I can't find the nav GPS switch, so I can't just switch on the nav GPS switch. But there's the observatory. Which is obstructed by the plane. So we move our head a bit. And it's in view again. And I'm ramming. And it's also glitching with its Shadows. Litchi shadows. I have litchi shadows.
A long time ago, people believed the sun slept in the crater at night, so they called it Haleakala, or House of the Sun. These days, it's a great place for stargazing. There's an observatory on its highest ridge. The view is unmatched, since at 10,000 feet it's already above 1/3 of the Earth's atmosphere.
Oops. Oops. A bit. Anyway. Alright, so it's time to descend. Go away, GPS. And yeah, it's time to descend. Like I said. And let's put our head back down. Because we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. Eh? No, that's a stupid pun. Stupid pun, not a stupid. But you can't blame me for this, okay? It's not my fault. I have a stupid accent. Okay, we're about to overspeed here. So let me just, okay, so I don't like that beep, so I'm gonna retract the throttle as far as possible without triggering that beep. Now we're gonna keep falling. Or gliding. Okay, this is not good. I need to hold on a second. Just hold on a second. Fucking null zone. Now later on, sensitivity. Null zone, sensitivity. Okay. There we go. The thing should be much smoother now. Of course, our friendly instructor here doesn't mind. Good sport. That's idle. That's the minimum we can go without breaking it.
The Hana Highway from Kahului to Hana is right down there. It's 52 miles long, has 600 hairpin turns, and 56 one-lane bridges. I know, I've counted.
From there to here. And you know, if you live in Hawaii, you do stupid shit like count this stuff. From where I come from, people are a bit more productive. Okay, let's follow the gray brick road. Probably not brick, I don't know.
To drive the highway takes almost 3 hours, which is why, unlike the rest of Maui, Hana has remained a pretty sleepy little town. We'll cover the same distance in about 15 minutes.
15 minutes? Are you sure? Are you sure not less? Are you positive? Is 15 minutes your final answer?
I grew up just outside of Hana, right down there. My dad drove me to school every day along the Hana Highway.
Well, I guess this is just one of the problems of, you know, flying fast, is that it becomes slightly unstable like this. And I apologize for that weird sound when I said unstable. a fart sound. No, grow up. Okay, things are getting unstable. Okay, let's just glide down. As fast as speed as we can.
That's Hana Airport up ahead. If you think it's beautiful here, you're not alone. Mark Twain, Jack London, and Charles Lindbergh all fell in love with Hana. In fact, Lindbergh spent the last years of his life in Hana, and his grave is right around here. The locals get annoyed by all the airplanes circling it, so let's just head for the airport and land.
Great. Okay,
As you
so
approach the airport, slow to 140 knots or less, and lower the landing gear. You can
Here's
use
a
the
speed
speed
brake.
brake if you need to get down in a hurry. Lower the flaps as you continue slowing. You want about 75 knots on final.
okay, I'm not sure if this is a safe gear speed, but I'm doing it anyway. And then I'm just lowering the flaps. I don't think this is the safe speed for flaps. Okay, so I'm just gonna... Yep. This is so professional of me to just, you know, slow my speed by pitching up. Like this. Eat more of my speed! Come on! I haven't bled off all my speed yet. Stall! I hope you don't mind. Just stalled your aircraft. Okay, I think we're good. I think we're all good. Speed brake off and speed brake back on. Okay, so the trick to stopping on a runway is getting your wheels onto the ground. Like this. Yep, I'm drifting a bit, but oh shit! I don't think this is a particularly good landing.
Nice landing. Well done, Hana. Let's park in front of the office on the south side of the field.
What an idiot! What a moron! Look at all the places we've been. That was clearly a shitty landing, and I know that. Oh yeah, and also, again, so, that is an episode. Well, not yet, but soon enough. We used almost all of the runway. I'm a bit ashamed of that, but not really. I was trying to finish the episode as fast as possible. So this is called taxiing. Or in professional terms, it's called faffing about.
Well, you did a great job. All checked out as far as I'm concerned. Let's grab
Really?
a bite in town, then we'll head back to Molokai.
Really? Really? I'm all checked out. Really? After that landing. Sure, whatever. I guess I'm a qualified fighter pilot. Not sure about being qualified like civil pilot though. Anyway, that's the end of the mission. Goals: we landed at Hannah, we got the flower lay and the humpback whale. Woo! Received for sighting the whales in mission Hawaiian checkout. And we got, here's the logbook. This is my previous attempt. And yeah, so no new photos. And let's end mission. So that was another episode of Let's Play Microsoft Flight Simulator X missions with me, Eric. Tune in next time for more. And until then, stuff happens.